Today, I've got something that's not a flashlight, but man, hardcore flashlight enthusiasts are gonna want it. Welcome back to Shoelights. Today I've got the EcoFlow River 2 portable power station, and it fills a couple needs I've had for a while. Now, I'm already sensing how people are going to react to the needs that I'm going to claim in this video. Some people might roll their eyes very hard at me. Hey, I'm me. Just love me, okay? The reason why I need a portable power station is, one, I've got a lot of flashlights and I do not keep them fully charged. Okay, that's issue one. And issue two, I often go to flashlight meetups, and it's so funny, man. As soon as I say that, I know someone's going like, what? Yeah. No, I actually have arranged and gone to flashlight meetups, and I sometimes do mods in the field. And so I'll bring my soldering iron with me, and I need something to power it out in the bush, all right? Okay, so you may not have the same needs as me, but maybe you do want a portable power station. And first off, this thing looks enormous on my camera here. It looks so huge. It is not big. I am going to show you a behind the scenes shot here. There's my camera filming it. And my camera is set up for really close work, but you can see this thing is not that big, right? This is like, I don't know, like a big lunch pail maybe. Okay, so it's not huge. I can pick it up one hand, no problem. Okay, I thought I'd give you a cursory look at the box. It's a pretty big box, right? Has a little handle on top, and this is how it arrived. There's a bunch of foam in there to really secure the device, so when I pulled it out of here, it was completely packed really well. Just to get a better look at this, I'm gonna go ahead and throw a little case under here so you get a really good shot of the faceplate. Now, there's a power button right here. First off, this thing is simplicity to use. The fact that it's like one button turn on, that everything is really easily labeled, is a huge bonus. Now, notice as soon as it turns on, you get a display here. Let's go through the display really quickly. 99 means that at the current rate of consumption, which there's nothing really plugged in, that this thing should last 99 hours. Now, the fact of the matter is that that's probably infinite hours, but the display goes up to 99. I left it at 50% charge so that I could show you its charging in a moment, but we got two displays over here. We got input and output, and that shows you in watts how much power is either flowing into the unit or out of the unit. And yes, you can charge this while charging devices. So you can charge the batteries in it while you're actually feeding power to other devices. Thoughtfully, all the output ports are on the front, which is great because when you're plugging things in, you can see how it's affecting the consumption and the runtime and all that. And all the inputs are on the back, which there's two inputs. You got AC right here, and you've got DC right here. And it includes both cables. So you got the AC cable is included, as well as a DC cable for an accessory in your car. Let's plug some devices into the front and see how this operates. So you notice that you've got DC over here, and there's an on-off button, and you got AC over here with on-off buttons, and then USB-C and A on either side in the middle. So let's take a AC device. Let's just start with that. I got a bunch of lithium-ion batteries, like so many, right? I have one in every light that I own, so I've got hundreds of these things because I have hundreds of flashlights, and I keep them at storage charge. And storage charge is around 3.7 to 3.8 volts, the nominal rating on these guys. Now, that's around 50% state of charge. And the reason you keep them there is because the longer you keep these cells close to their maximum of 4.2 volts, the longer they stay at that state of charge, the quicker the chemistry degrades in these. So for example, you've probably noticed that you have devices like, I don't know, DSLR cameras or even cell phones that the batteries say, like in the spec sheets, that they're going to last 8 to 10 years, and you never get that, right? It's like after a year or two, there's significant loss in longevity. And the reason for that is basically two factors. And one is the fact that the battery is continually sitting at a near full state of charge, and then heat. So the faster you charge and the more heat's generated, that's bad on the chemistry. So what I like to do is I store all my batteries at that middle kind of 50% mark, 3.7, 3.8 volts. And then when I need them, I charge them to full. And when I'm done using them, I put them back at storage. Now, here's the conundrum. So let's say I've got, some lanterns or some favorite lights that I want to use during, let's say, a power outage, a power cut, or, like a hurricane. I'm in California and we just had a Hurricane Hillary come through, and in Florida, they were out of power for like a week because of Adalia. And so if all my flashlights are at 50% charge, I'm not going to get full brightness because they're not running full voltage, and I'm losing out of runtime. So that's where something like this is really great. And you might say, well, aren't you just trading one problem for another? I mean, you don't have this fully charged. Why would you have this thing sitting around fully charged? And the reason is, and here's the secret, these lithium-ion batteries don't like to sit up there at that full state of charge, but this does not run on lithium-ion. This runs on something called lithium iron phosphate. It's a different chemistry. It's more robust, and it doesn't really care if it sits at 100%. Now I've got an XTAR VC4 Plus, this pretty ubiquitous charger that us enthusiasts have, plugged into the 2-prong here, and notice it's not on. And that's because this section is disabled right now. So if there's a little button under here I'm going to press, and once I press that, you see it comes alive. You see that once the transformer powers up on the AC side, you can see that this has come alive. And notice that it now says 12 hours, 11 hours, right? So that means that this can run at this current rate of consumption for 11 hours, all right? Now, remember, that's based on the fact that we're at 50% state of charge. So if we were at 100, I'd get, over 20 hours here. Now, there's not much being pulled right now. So let's take a battery that's not full, and I'll put it in bay 1 here. And as the charger analyzes what it's going to do, and then it goes up to, probably around 3 amps here, notice that this will show, there we go, 17 watts draw, and it's recalculating and telling me that I could charge batteries like I'm doing now, or at least one battery, for 7, well, there we go, see, it went higher. So I could charge for 4 hours, okay? Now, remember that it's not going to take me 4 hours to charge this, right? And also remember that I'm not fully charged and I'm using AC, so there is loss. There's overhead here. So a better way to do this would be to use DC, because you don't want to take the DC in here, transfer it to AC through a transformer, then from the AC block, there's loss back to DC. It's just, there's a lot of loss. So now one thing I noticed, and I want to point this out, is if I pull this out here, let's take this off, let's turn off the AC, and I'm going to use this cord here to go, it's a USB-C over here to USB-A. If I go straight into this A port, it's going to be more efficient, but one of the things I noticed is the wattage only says about 2 watts, and that's because this cable is not negotiating high charge rate like this Qualcomm 3.0 block was. So it's actually charging slower now. It says we're going to get 38 hours, but I mean, there's more efficiency here and I'm charging slower. Whatever. I don't know if that's a good way to go, but let me show you another thing. One of my favorite chargers on the market is this MeBoxer C412 here. This thing is awesome. It comes with a nice beefy brick. It charges up to 2 amps in all 4 bays simultaneously. So let me go ahead and plug in this brick. And normally I wouldn't do this, right? I would plug into the wall, but I want to show something that I think is great about this charger, and it will also bring home better this idea of loss through the transformer. So if I turn this back on, there we go, and give it a moment to power up here, the transformer, and then this will come on. There we go. Now, let me go ahead and take the same battery, put it into slot 1 here, let it negotiate. And see, we're about 75% state of charge here. Okay, so now take a look. It is at 2 amps We are charging. You can see the milliamps are going into the battery pretty fast too. And notice that I am reading an output of 0, okay? And it says 6 hours instead of 4 hours. Now, here's what I'm trying to explain. This brick is more efficient than this little guy was, okay? Because I'm still getting the 2 amps here. I think I was getting 2 or 3 amps on the other one. So what I'm pointing out is not all these bricks are created equally. But here's something even cooler. Now notice it says 6 hours, right? I should get 6 hours of charging at this rate. Let me pull this battery out before I get it too much higher. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this, take this out the back, okay? And one of the awesome things about this charger is that it has a barrel plug in the back here, okay? I did a review of the Woobin A1, this giant flashlight, and one of the things I claimed was that there was a barrel plug in the back of the flashlight here. Let me see. Oh, the light is so big. I can't even get it on the camera. All right, there we go. The barrel plug in the back here, I said that was a great charging port. And, you know, some of my viewers disagreed with me. They said, no, I want USB-C. But one of the things I don't like about USB-C is it's just too much technology, in my opinion. It's like you got to negotiate, you got to get the right protocol, you got to get the right cable. I mean, this barrel plug is just a dumb thing. You're just giving it 12 volts, right? So check this out. I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to go over here and turn on DC, pull this plug out here. This guy I got on Amazon. This is cheap. This is like a couple bucks, okay? And it just plugs in there and gives you banana plugs, right? Then I soldered this together. This is literally just banana connectors I got off Amazon, and I soldered them and used shrink wrap to a DC barrel plug here. Let's get it the right direction, okay? Make sure that polarity is correct. Let me get this on screen, but back a little bit so you can see what I'm about to do here. And if you've guessed it, yes, I am going to go straight into the charger here, DC. So there we go. We're in DC. It's powered up. Let's go ahead and put that same battery in bay 1. Let it negotiate. And I suspect we're going to get more than 6 hours over here because it's going to be more efficient. So let's let this start charging here. It's also reading now. It's also reading 8 watts. I wonder if there was a bug before. I'm actually surprised about that. But anyways, so it's charging at 2 amps. It's definitely charging. See that? Not 6 hours, 13 hours. So I just want to point out that whenever possible, go DC to DC, you're going to get less loss. It's awesome that it has a DC AC transformer for the times that that's all you can use. But definitely go DC DC if you can. These should also be more efficient. The USB A's, USB C's on the front here. The second weird usage case I had for this thing was I wanted to be able to solder in the field. And here I've got my expensive, well, it's a clone, so it's less expensive than the real deal, but it's my expensive T3A clone here, which heats up in like a split second, right? So it's 150 watts, and this thing can really handle it. In fact, one of the great features this station has is the ability to handle up one device up to 600 watts. That's incredible. So let me go ahead and turn the station on in the back. Now, nothing happens yet. Station doesn't come on or anything. And the reason why is because this is off right here. So I'll go ahead and turn the transformer on, and then you'll see this come on. There you go. Let me bring it up a little bit like this so we can see it on screen. All right. So it says 20 Celsius, that's room temperature. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the wand. Here, let me get my camera over a little bit. Let's see if I can get all 3 of these. There we go. So I got the display over here, got this display at 20 degrees, and then you got the little holder here. So as soon as I pull this out, and that's one of the great features about this, it's going to turn on and instantly heat up to 350 because that's a preset. So let's do it. Pull it out. See, it's instantly heating up. We're about 200, there you go, 350. We're fully heated. All right, sorry for the jump cut there. There was a plane going overhead ruining my audio. But anyways, when I pull it out, it's going to heat back up to 350. You see this goes up to like 118 watts for a moment. then it says 0, but that's the way these things work, right? They just heat, and then they kind of just keep them at 350. Is it hot? Yeah, it's hot. Here we go. Let me melt some solder. Right? No problem, okay? So, totally hot. And remember, I'm not plugged in, okay? So I could do this right in the field. And you can power multiple devices, right? If you have the X Boost on in the software, and I'm going to show you software next, you can power up to 600 watts with one item. If the items are lower, like 100 watts or so, you can do several, no problem. Now I wanted to go over what I think is one of the cooler things about this unit. It's got a really great app that you can get on Android and iOS. It's the EcoFlow app here, and in the manual, you can just scan a QR code and it takes you right to it. Let me go ahead and load it up. After you pair the device, so this is what it looks like when you first load up and you pair it. First off, this app will let you do firmware updates. There was a firmware update available for my unit right off the bat. But notice it has full control here and readouts. Let's go ahead and take my iPad here. And my iPad is USB-C. I didn't show the USB-C port on the front in action yet. So let's go ahead and plug in to the USB-C port on the iPad. I'll set it right here. Then I'll plug this into the front. And as soon as I do, you'll see that it says drawing 4 watts right there, 5 watts. And you see the power flowing out of the reservoir into here, right? And notice that I don't need the AC or DC conversion to 12 volts to do that. Now, this app is so good because the unit itself has tons of settings and preferences you could set. So let me go into the app to set some of these. And you'll notice, and I'm not going to go through every little thing here, but I'll highlight a couple. See AC charging speed here? You can fully charge this unit from dead in like an hour, okay? And the reason why is because you can have it charge up to 360 watts input. Now, that of course is going to put strain on the chemistry of the batteries, but in an emergency, if you know the power is going to be cut or you don't have power any longer, but you're able to find a generator or someone that does have power, the fact that you can charge this up in about an hour is phenomenal. That's insane. So I have it set at the lowest right now, 100 watts, because for longevity, I'd just rather charge slow. So let me go to the back here. I'm going to take the power cable, plug it in on the back. Okay, I got that set up. And notice that it now says 112, 110 watts coming in. I had it set to 100, so it's a little over that. It's an approximation. But notice also that it's circling, showing that this state of charge is rising, okay? And now what it's showing me is time till fully charged. So since I'm half charged already, even at 100 watts, this thing is going to be fully charged in 2 hours with while charging my iPad. Now, if you look on the phone here, you can see that indeed 100 watts is coming into it. 11 watts is going out, so we're netting 90 watts. And you can see the state of charge right there. So this is a really excellent little app here. It works so great. And, as I said, if you embedded this like in, some cabinetry in like an RV or something, notice that I can turn on the AC remotely. See the DC's off. I can turn on the DC remotely, and look how responsive it is. It's really responsive right away. And this is so cool, man. You got a charge and discharge limit. So I can tell this thing, if I don't need capacity, but I want longevity of the unit, I can say, hey, never charge more than 50% and never discharge more than 30, or, pretty much any other slider that you can think of here, okay? And also down here, and I should just mention this, that there's some timeouts. And see the unit timeout here that says never? Here, let me get that on screen. So it says unit timeout never. So one thing I noticed, and I'll just tell you this, this is all covered in the manual, and I'm not trying to be super comprehensive here, but if I hit the button like this, the display goes off, but it's still flashing. It's in sleep mode, right? It's not off fully. In fact, let me pull the AC on the back. Oh, by the way, on screen, you notice that it stopped charging on its own. It reached 50% state of charge. It's done, right? That's what we said in the app. So even though it's plugged in, it's not going to go past that. Let me go ahead and pull that. So I'll go ahead and pull the AC. So this unit's no longer plugged in. But what I wanted to show you was that when I hit this button, it goes into sleep mode. And if I plug something in on the front, it'll auto sense. It'll, turn on and the display turns on. Oh, well, let's show you that. Okay, so we got the USB-C here. And if I plug this into the front, like so, you'll see that without any interaction, the display comes on. It starts doing its business. Pull it off. It stays on for a bit. I think I have the screen timeout here set to, 5 minutes. So in 5 minutes, this would turn off. But what I want to show you, though, is, that'll turn off the screen, goes into lower power mode, but it's still sensing ports. Now, here's the thing. It's using power right now, right? Because it's on. Not a lot, but enough that if you walk away for several days, you can run this thing pretty much all the way down. So press and hold, and it'll say off right there. Now it's shut the unit off, okay? Now the battery will not deplete under it running. And when you go to turn it on from off, it does take a little bit longer. It's got to read stuff, but it's not bad. Oh, now back to why I was showing you all that. I almost forgot. I have the unit timeout on never. What I really should do is put unit timeout on like 4 hours or something. Now, what that's going to do is if I forget to turn this off by a long press, but there's no interaction for 4 hours, it'll auto turn off to save the battery supply. Notice that any interaction, any charging will delay that for another 4 hours. And this scratches a lot of itches for me, man. I got young kids, and we're on our way to like Disneyland, right? It takes a couple hours to get there. The kids have, iPads. It's always a struggle to keep these things charged in the car because they're, playing video games and watching movies and stuff, and they deplete pretty fast. With something like this, it's like I'm not struggling to like get a cable to the front of the car and try and run off an ACC port, which is running slowly. It's like I can charge full speed. Also another thing too is if I'm sitting in a parking lot or something, I don't have to turn the car on and run the engine and run gas just to charge something. So I don't know that these are compelling reasons to go buy one, but I wanted one for a long time. And that ability to work in the field and the ability to no longer stress about having the flashlight batteries fully charged, that's worth it for me. Okay? So go ahead and look in the link description. I've got some information about where you can find one of these. And I think that with the recent hurricanes, I think that a lot of people are going to be thinking about stuff like this. It's like, how do I store power for emergencies? And lithium iron phosphate, the chemistry in here is the way to go. All right, guys. Thank you for my non-flashlight review, and I'm going to see you in the next... Oh, you know what? Before I sign off, I want to tell you that later this week, I'm going to be at OFAN Day for Olight. I'm going to have a live stream. I'm just going to put that out there. A live stream later in this week. So stay tuned for that, and I will see you in the next video.